Hi everybody, as you all know, we're basically days away from the reviews for the GeForce 1590 series, and because we're days away, there's a lot of articles and YouTube videos out there from all the outlets with speculations and with various bits and bobs of information about the new card. Also, there's a lot of people that there's a trend of people that are basically against the new technology that 1590 brings, which is basically neural rendering, so using AI to render more frames, therefore having a higher frame generation than the previous model, a lot higher frame generation than the previous model. And basically what NVIDIA is trying to do by selling this is they're saying that as per their charts, 1590 could be up to 2x faster than 1490. Now that may be so in terms of FPS, just because it uses a different DLSS technology. As you all know, every time since the Turing series, every time NVIDIA launches a card, they up the DLSS generation. So they launch a new DLSS, which is every time basically, and every launch is a lot faster, and it can do more frames. Now, before we go into that, there's something that I wanted to discuss with you based on the sheer specifications of the graphics card. As you all know, the ones that you watched the official launch of the card, Jensen did not go very much into details this time, so he did not go into technical specifications. He's put a strong accent and a strong like he's done a big spiel about its AI capabilities and the number of tops and the number of tensor cores and stuff like that, and how it's a lot bigger and a lot better than the previous generation. So I felt like he didn't go too much into the nitty-gritty of the card because he doesn't do that anymore. That's, yeah, or they just want to market it differently. So therefore, what I've decided to do is just show you a raw comparison between the two cards, and the way how I do it, probably you do it as well. But I just wanted to put a video out there who might be like indicative to some of you. So basically what we're going to do is, Tech Power Up is a really good website because they have a database of, well, pretty much all the GPUs out there. And in that database, you can literally compare them head to head. So that's very important. So we've got pictures. We've got like two screens, two windows, two different GPU generations. They're basically previous generation 4090, next generation 5090. And I'm going to tell you the most important aspects to look out when comparing these two cards and when making a decision which one is, well, 5090 is faster, but how fast is it compared to 4090 in terms of raw hardware performance? And the best indicators that you can use for this are, and first indicator is the number of CUDA cores. So 4090 comes with 16,384 cores. 5090 comes with more, 21,760 cores. Now that's a 32% core increase. Now this 32% is really important because it's a very strong indicator of how fast, in identical situation, how fast would the cards be, would the 5090 be compared to 4090? And it's a good estimation to say that the 5090 has 32% more CUDA cores, which makes it around 30% more, at least 30% faster than the GeForce 4090. Now, the second aspect, which is very important to consider when comparing two cards in terms of raw power, is their memory. Memory is vital for GPUs because the faster the memory, the faster they can get the frames in there, render them, and get the frames out there to your display. So, because of this, this is very important to consider when measuring, when in comparison. And GeForce 5090 does have a memory which is a lot faster than 5090. So GeForce 4090, sorry. GeForce 5090 comes with GDDR7. It's the first graphics that comes with GDDR7. There's no other card out there that has it at this moment in time. And this GDDR7 memory is a lot faster than GDDR6, which is what with GeForce 4090 comes. Its memory bandwidth, it's a lot higher. It's 28 gigabits per second compared to its 21 on the GeForce 4090. Frequency is higher, 2,200 megahertz versus 1,1300. And the memory bus, it's increased as well because you've got 32 gigs compared to 24 gigs, so 8 gigs more memory, and it's running on 512 bits for 5090 compared to 384 bits 4090. So you got like memory bandwidth higher, faster memory 28 compared to 21, and the total bandwidth will be 1.79 terabits a second compared to it's probably 1 terabyte a second on the 5090. Where is it? It was somewhere around here. I will show it to you in a moment. So bandwidth for 4090. So this is the biggest improvement, the second biggest improvement. So you got CUDA cores, 32% increase, and memory bandwidth 80% increased, I would say. So 1.7 terabytes. With these two aspects, I could say that GeForce 5090 is considerably a lot faster than the 4090. These two aspects are crucial basically for raw hardware rendering. These also two aspects make the 5090 a lot better choice for those who are video editors, those who work in the game industry, like game developers and stuff like that. They will love 5090 compared to the 4090. But yeah, again, and if you're playing games at high resolution, because you probably are, I mean, no one buys a 5090 or 4090 to play games at 1080p medium performance. You will probably want to play at the highest resolution as you can. Obviously, 5090 is going to give you a lot more, well, it's going to give you more frame rates. So higher frame rates in terms of raw power, and that thing is confirmed. So it's not going to be unknown. You will definitely have around 30% better frame rate on the 5090 compared to the 4090. Now, obviously, one big factor in comparing the two GPUs is the same CPU. So if you're doing this, you need a fast CPU to keep up with your system. So otherwise, you're just going to bottleneck it. There's no point in having a weak CPU and buying a 5090 on it, because you're just not going to have enough processing power to feed this beast of a card. So I would definitely recommend, if not the latest generation of CPUs which were released, I'm talking about Ryzen 9000 series and Intel Core Ultra 9 series. So if not the latest, the previous generation, so either Ryzen 7000 or a 14, Intel 14 series. So definitely these two generations, and obviously from the mid-tier up, if you want to actually enjoy the card itself, and if you want to actually not bottleneck it, this is very important as well. And another factor that would matter in that 30% difference is the game itself. Some games will be will have different optimizations, and some games will be some game engines will be more optimized from the competition for AMD rather than NVIDIA. But I would say it's a good estimation to think that it will be somewhere around 30% faster. We'll quickly go through the other specs as well. So in terms of die size, so it's not going to be a multi-chip module as it's generative AI. So Blackwell generation for generative AI was launched last year, and it's an MCA model, so 2 chips in one die, one big area basically connected together. Blackwell series was single, it's still monolithic, and its size is 744 millimeters compared to 609, so it's bigger. Let me do some quick math here. So you've got 22% more a bigger die. You've got similar density, slightly lower on the 5090. Transistor wise, 92 billion versus 76 billion. So it's got, again, for me, this is a good indication as well. So you got 92 divided by 76, and you've got 21% more transistors. So these are the raw numbers that you're looking at. Process size, I think there's an error here because they're both built on the same 4 nanometer processor, but made by TSMC. They haven't upscaled, they haven't gone to a smaller one, so they haven't gone to 3 nanometers for this generation as well. Price apparently $199. We'll wait and see. Bus interface, obviously, with such a big bandwidth, 5090 it finally has PCIe 5.0. PCIe 5.0 has been out there for a while, since the previous generation of CPUs for both Intel and AMD. So finally, we get to enjoy a card with PCIe 5.0. 4090 has 4.0. The difference between two is PCIe 5.0 is basically double the bandwidth of PCIe 4.0. We've discussed the memory. In terms of speeds, it's basically faster. So we got around so basically GeForce 5090 is memories. It's a lot better and faster than 4090. Clock speeds with a bigger die and a bigger chip, same process. Obviously the 5090 is slightly lower clock, so you've got 2000 and 2.4, and you've got 2.2 and 2.5. Now that it's going to make a massive difference. Here we go. Any other? So theoretical performance, again, just have a look at these numbers and compare them. You're going to find basically a 30% difference in them. So raw power of the 5090 is somewhere around here. You can confidently say by looking at the numbers where you are. Now, in terms of, as I said, CPUs and game engine optimizations, you will be looking somewhere around 30% performance increase for the two. Obviously, you're going to want to play at 4K, because why else would you get this card unless you're like working in the video editing business. So we've been through the most important things in terms of its render capabilities. Another thing that I want to point out, it's got the same amount of cache per shader model, 128 kilobits on level 1. Level 2 cache is slightly bigger, 10 megabits bigger than level 2 cache for the 4090. So again, the architecture, it does look like it's a refresh basically. So the architecture is very similar. They haven't made any massive architectural improvement. The only difference they made is they're probably putting smarter tensor cores in there, and they've got more AI processing power. So I've heard it, on the NVIDIA's website, I think 4090 is somewhere around 1,300 tops, and 5090 is 3,300 tops. So the tops is, let's say, if you divide these two numbers, so that's where, because it has roughly 2.5 more AI processing power than 4090, the 5090 in games which take advantage of this technology, it will be a lot faster. So those AI frames that people tend to not like very much, they will come from the enhanced AI capabilities of the 5090 compared to the 4090, especially DLSS, and that's how you will get more frames. But in terms of processing power, it's just 30%-ish. So yeah, I'm hoping that you find this useful. If you do want me to make more videos, just put a comment below. If you do want me to, if you think I've missed something and you want me to look at something else, I will go through it. I didn't go through sizes. So the size of the 5090 is, although it uses a lot more power, 575 watts compared to 450, the size has gone down because of a much more efficient cooling system. So it's going to be dual slot compared to triple slot. So it's not such a big card. It's really good for smaller builds, but be careful. It's only that the Founders Edition from NVIDIA that will actually have dual slot cards at launch. All the other aftermarket manufacturers will still use triple slot cards. So all the cards that have been presented at CES 2025 were big, chunky, 3.74 slot cards that have massive cooling solution on them. And I hope you find this information useful. If you want me to talk about more, just drop me a message below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow, because I need you guys. Cheers, bye-bye.